Hello, welcome to my channel, Words of Reflection and Knowledge. On this channel, we discuss words and analyze their importance. Today, we're going to discuss the word racism. In an ideal world, we would all grow up believing that every individual is equal regardless of one's race, ethnicity. But in the real world, there are people who judge others based on their skin color. Racism has been a part of America since its conception. Slavery first came about in 1776, and Black Americans were treated unfairly under the new laws. This unfair treatment created an unequal situation that many people still feel today. Most of the laws that are still on the books were written to unfairly discriminate against Black and brown people. As seen in the prison system, housing market, and schooling, these systems were created with the intent to make life more difficult for people of color in North America. Racism, in all its varieties, is not experienced solely by Black people. The media talks about the racism that Black people experience and go through more often than other ethnicities. However, there are other minority groups that can be subject to racism too. Due to the racist behavior of European people, there are now entire tribes of Native Indians that no longer exist. Many Native Americans no longer have their own land as a result of colonization. There are many forms of racism. It's important to understand that racism isn't something people are born with, but rather something that people are taught. One of the most prevalent forms of racism is colorism. This form of racism involves discrimination against people with darker skin tones. The idea that darker skin colors are more primitive or uncivilized than light colors is one way that colorism can be perpetuated in society. It is actually possible that Black people are racist against their own. Interestingly, some dark-skinned Black people refuse to date or marry others that are darker than them. They want a lighter-skinned person to be their life partner. This is a form of racism. In India, the pressure to be light-skinned is very strong. For women in general, it is believed that lighter-skinned women are prettier. This desire to have fairer skin goes back to colonial times when they were enslaved by the British. It became a status symbol for those with darker skin to marry those with lighter skin. This led to many Indian women trying different methods of bleaching. Society has given us the impression that darker skin tone more dangerous or a person just being seen as a pure ugly person to look at. One might assume that this would explain why many people from different cultures who are a dark complexion always try to bleach their skin. Some people with dark skin see bleaching their skin as a way to finally being accepted in society. Barack Obama became U.S. president 10 years ago, and a lot of people at the time thought his election might signal an end to racism in America. Obama's presidency instead led to more racial tensions, with the reemergence of far-right groups like the Proud Boys, KKK, and more. In response to the presidency of Barack Obama, populism has become more popular and is starting to affect the political landscape of the world. Right-wing politicians are becoming more influential in countries like Canada, US, Britain, Germany, just to name a few. This has led to politicians like Donald Trump and Boris Johnson who make promises to an electorate who is afraid of change. They offer a promise of getting tough on immigration and restoring national greatness. Populism movements usually involve implementing stricter laws and regulations on people trying to enter or stay in a country. For example, policies may involve more immigration restrictions and tougher penalties for people living illegally in the country. When politicians like Donald Trump and Boris Johnson keep talking about the anti-immigration message, they often lead people to think and act in a racist way toward immigrants. How can we stop populism? Remember that we are all humans and bleed the same color of blood. If you're considering immigrants as people like you and me, it's easier to see the motivation for why they would come to a new country and start their life over. The final thing to remember is that people should be judged on their character, not by the color of their skin. If we all are able to follow these simple rules, then there would be more equality among people. It doesn't matter about the color or nationality of someone, as we are all part of the human race. Your feedback is important to us, and we'd love to keep you updated on our new videos. If you find this video valuable, we'd appreciate if you can subscribe to our channel for future updates on new content, as well as notifications on when the video has been released.